This is Gang Green Blitz with your host, Joe Masseri.
Welcome into Gang Green Blitz, everyone. I am Perry Sook in for Joe Masseri. Now, it seems like it was not that long ago that Jets fans were rejoicing the end of the Brady-Belichick dynasty. That oh my goodness, it was over, and it had terrorized us for the better part of 2 decades, the entire NFL and mostly the Jets, but now it's over. Well, we might have a case of deja vu happening over at MetLife Stadium because Vrabel and Drake May just embarrassed the Jets. And that's all you can really say about it. No matter who it is. New team, new Pats, same old Jets. Joining me as he does every week, NFL reporter Ryan Dunleavy. Ryan, is that one of the worst defensive performances that you can recall? Because it's on the top of my list. It's very high up there, and I've watched a lot of Cowboy games that, you know, the score didn't matter in Big 12 football. That was bad.
Yeah, if you're bringing up Big 12 defense, that's about as bad as defense gets played. No, I mean, it was bad. I think they scored on their first 6 possessions. You heard Vrabel, who interviewed with the Jets and obviously played them to get the job he wanted with the Patriots. You heard him use some choice language when he called a timeout up 35-3 that basically said, basically said, to hell with them. So, in fouler terms. So, the rivalry is back, the rivalry is one-sided again. The football gods, Perry, they just shine on certain franchises, and some franchises go from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck. Some go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Some go from Tom Brady to Hiccup Mac Jones to Drake May, and some go from, Ken O'Brien to Browning Nagel to Neil O'Donnell to, to 100 guys to Boomer Esiason to Chad Pennington to Vinny Testaverde to 100 other guys in between, and I'm only naming the good ones. I didn't even bring up the Bryce Petties. So,
I mean, it's just sad. It is just sad. And look, I've often assigned Tom Brady the title Stealer of Joy because there's so many other franchises that could have been good if, he didn't take away their joy. Until very recently, Patrick Mahomes was the same thing. Unfortunately, the Jets, it seems to have the opposite effect. It's just this void.
You're a giver of joy.
It's the giver of joy. Exactly. It's everyone. You guys all go get to be happy. Everybody gets to be happy if you play my team.
The Jets are like football's Oprah. It's like, you get joy, you get joy, you get joy. Everybody gets joy.
Now, Ryan, the thing that did rub me the wrong way a little bit on Sunday is we always say that players don't tank. Franchises just hope they want them to. The teams do. However, Aaron Glenn said on Sunday that his team, maybe didn't have the effort. But then Monday morning comes out and says that he did. So I want to take a listen to that, and then I want to dive into exactly what we think about Aaron Glenn's evaluation of his team.
At some point, man, it's not about the score anymore. It's about the pride that you go out there and play with. And again, I'm always going to talk about how our guys play with effort, but today I didn't see the effort that I felt like we needed to go out there and compete at a high level.
Getting a chance to look at it last night and look at it again this morning, I would say this: effort was not the issue with that game. I thought our guys, they played all the way to the very end. What really showed up is, like, they did some things schematically I thought that was challenging, offensively and defensively.
Okay. So
Okay,
what of that tape makes you feel like, no, just kidding. I was wrong. They were giving it their all.
So first of all, I don't know that Aaron Glenn's excuse there is any better. So so it was an effort. We just got our pants pulled down and out coached. Like, they were doing some challenging things. Well, why can't you do challenging things? Like, I don't know that that's any better. And then second of all, Aaron Glenn has nobody to blame. And I'll throw Darren Muji in there too, and ownership. The leadership of the Jets has no one to blame if the players are not and the coaches are not giving a great effort, as he initially suggested, than themselves. Look in the mirror. They're not dumb, your players. They know you're playing a worse quarterback with the intention of losing the game. You just want to lose respectably enough that it's not an embarrassment. But, like, if you cared about winning, you'd be playing Tyrod Taylor or Justin Fields, who are injured. Like, once you send the message to the players that, like, winning is not as important, we're not playing the best players. Well, why should I risk injury? Why should I go full tilt? Garrett Wilson has the rest of the season off. Justin Fields has the rest of the season off. Tyrod Taylor has the rest of the season off. Alan Lazard's not here anymore. Like, why am I going out there to bust my butt and risk injury if winning is not a priority for you guys? Then the priority becomes my health, so that when I'm a free agent, I'm available to get the biggest contract from somebody else.
Exactly. And it just, like, it turns everything up on its head, because we always say, you know, even looking at the Giants, it's like, oh, the fans wanted them to lose the game, but the team wanted to go out and win it for it. Well, but now they don't want to play, but they don't want to play because the precedence has been set for them. It speaks to the ilks and the problems that are going on in this franchise.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, use that Giants example for a second. The Raiders set out Max Crosby and Brock Bowers. Do you think the Giants are really like 24 points better than the Raiders? No, they're the two worst teams in the league. But the Raiders didn't try because the players figured out, like, oh, our team doesn't really care about winning this game, or we wouldn't have set up Max Crosby, who's now posting videos of himself shooting hoops with his daughter.
On a trampoline.
Correct. So they figured it out. So, like, if our staff doesn't really want to win, why am I busting my butt to win? So, like, the Raiders figured it out. The Jets are going to figure it out. So the Jets were trying to lose respectably. Like, that's a hard navigate. You're either trying to win or you're not. Like, you don't try to lose close enough.
Exactly. And so when you're not, what do you even take from that game? What can you even evaluate?
Nothing.
I mean, why?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing.
And
nothing.
So I mean, you just got to turn the page. You got to turn the page and look at Darren Muji in the face and say what's next.
Can't end fast enough. Nothing. The Jets season can't end fast enough. They'd be better off not playing this game on a weekend. It can only add up to bad things.
They forfeit.
They could beat Mitch Trubisky, who I assume is going to play over Josh Allen since the Bills have nothing to play for. They could beat him and ruin their draft position worse. Or they could get humbled by Mitch Trubisky, and it could be more like, oh, is Aaron Glenn the right guy? He couldn't even beat Mitch Trubisky. Like, the offense has the worst. Would they have the worst scoring differential in December in NFL history? Like, it can only get worse for the Jets. The more games they play, it can only get worse. So this season needs to end for them as soon as possible, because every game and every play just adds more questions to the people who are going to be here.
Yeah, no, it's hard, and it's And you send players away, and to be fair, things also got worse for Sauce Gardner. I mean, poor guy was on a 1-win team and then went to a team that has now only had 1 win since he's been there. But when everybody's gone, when everybody's going out the door, when the clear message is we're not trying to win now, maybe you do have a lack of effort, and it's been communicated down. So you just got to close the season and move on. So we need some optimism. When we come back, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to look forward, and we're going to look for one bright spot from yesterday, because a record was broken. A record was broken that has been a long-standing bad thing for the Jets. And so we're going to look at that, and we're going to think about one thing, a New Year's resolution that would make us happy, Ryan, in the new year for this team. And we're going to forget the Bills game even exist, because I'm with you. We're going to close the door on the season right here. So we're going to take a quick break, and we will see you when the Gang Green Blitz returns.
Welcome back to Gang Green Blitz.
All right, everybody, welcome back. As we said, the Jets are givers of joy. They give other franchises joy, and I'm gonna speak to that a little bit, because there is a fun fact that has come across my desk this morning. There are only 5 quarterbacks ever in the history of the NFL with back-to-back 13-win seasons? Well, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, and newly Sam Darnold. Yes, that is right. Sam Darnold, who is here, who is seeing ghosts, who is having problems, doing all these things. Ryan, does that speak? Thank you, by the way. Welcome back to the show. Is it cursed? Is it a cursed franchise? Like, how do you explain things like that when quarterbacks go other places and have success?
Yeah, I know it feels like it only happens to the Jets. It does. Like, how do you think the Browns, and they might be just as cursed as the Jets, how do you think the Browns fan feels about Baker Mayfield being as good as he is for the Buccaneers? You know, the Panthers, they might be just as cursed. The Panthers had Darnold and Mayfield at the same time and let both of them out the door.
That's true.
And
That's
they're,
true.
you know, Geno Smith had a good run in Seattle. He stinks again now for the Raiders. It certainly feels like that for the Jets. Look, good. Daniel Jones was terrible with the Giants. He was good with the Colts until he got injured this year. So much of being a quarterback is being in the right place at the right time with the right coach and the right offense. The stars haven't aligned for the Jets. Are they cursed? They might be cursed. That doesn't mean that Tanner Engstrand or whoever's running this offense isn't going to be the right person for Dante Moore or Fernando Mendoza. It just takes one. You know, the Bills certainly felt they were cursed from the time Jim Kelly retired and they ran through 100 Ryan Fitzpatricks and Peyton Holcombs or whatever, through Doug Flutie until they got to Josh Allen. You know, I'm sure they felt like they were cursed for 20 years. And then it was like, oh, here's Josh Allen with Brian Daboll. And then here's Josh Allen with the OC now, whose name I can't remember, who's going to be Joe Brady. So it just takes the right alignment. They don't have it right now. But, yeah, that's the Sam Darnold thing is certainly – they weren't patient enough with him. They probably should have stuck with him longer. I think there were people in the organization. That was Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas, the beginning. I think there were people who wanted to stick with Darnold. There are people who wanted to go to Zach Wilson. Also, ultimately, Joe Douglas wanted Zach Wilson, and he's the top boss. So it was his call, and it was the wrong one.
Yeah, it very, very, very much was, and now the quarterback hunt is on again. Obviously, that's at the top of the box for Darren Muji. What is the to-do list if you're the Jets? If you're looking at this complete, cluster fire, dumpster fire of what yesterday was, where do you start? What is the biggest priority, in the pyramid and hierarchy of needs of the New York Jets organization? Where can Darren Muji start?
Just get better. Like, first thing he has to do is just get the roster better. Like, first thing he has to do is find a quarterback in free agency who can start if needed, be a placeholder, somebody who's better than Justin Fields. Don't know who that is. Haven't looked at the free agent quarterbacks, but it has to be somebody better than Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor. Maybe that guy starts the season and becomes the backup to whoever you draft, but free agency comes before draft. So you have to sign a starting caliber NFL quarterback. He has to probably upgrade the line. It's been good, but it could get better. The defensive line is not nearly good enough. Everything starts in the trenches. He's got to get that better. Needs a receiver. Needs a receiver that can fill out the Adonai Mitchell, Garrett Wilson train. He's got to. I'm rolling through them right now, Perry. He's got to figure out Breece Hall's. He's got to figure out Breece Hall's future. Actually, that's first in chronological order because the franchise tag deadline is before free agency. So the first major decision of his offseason will be what to do with Breece Hall. Does he let him test the market and say come back to us, or does he franchise tag him? That's first It's not the most important, but it's first chronologically.
Well, and let's give a nice little shout out for Breece Hall. I grew up in Big 12 country, as I mentioned earlier in the show. I watched him play at Iowa State, and first 1,000-yard rusher for the Jets in a decade. So congratulations to Breece Hall. Do you think they re-sign him? I think he's a pivotal piece. I think the wish list is so long. Why let one of the good pieces you have go?
If you ask me, I think they'll tag him. That's what
Tag him.
I think they'll make him an offer. Probably won't be good enough to convince him to stay long term. I think they'll probably tag him and then work on it. And then, they'll, after they tag him, that becomes the floor. And then they'll try to, for base salary for APY, that becomes the floor, the tag number. Then they'll probably boost it up a little bit and offer him 3 or 4 years. Whether he takes it or not, we'll see. But I would think they tag him and don't let him walk out the door for nothing.
Yeah, you can't let that happen. It's the Saquon affair all over again. So many holes to fill, so many things you need to do, but all was not lost yesterday because the Browns somehow miraculously decide to make Week 18 interesting for the Steelers and the Ravens, and in doing so, hurt their draft position. So the Jets did move, at least for now, into 3. Colts sitting at 18, I believe. And They have that first-round draft pick. So the assets are there. Do you buy into the fact that the draft is the number one way to get the quarterback, or are you okay with testing the free agency market and using the draft to fill the other holes since they are so ample?
Well, look, the draft has been the number one way for as long as football has existed.
Sure.
We went through a little period here in the last 5 years where the 2 guys we mentioned, Mayfield and Darnold, were like free agent finds. Trades have become a sexy thing with quarterbacks in the last 6 years, whether it's Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, or quarterbacks that never used to get traded nowadays. If you told me Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow was available and I was the Jets, I would trade as many first-round picks as I had to. If that meant 2 1s and 2 2s, if that meant 3 1s and a 3, whatever it would take, if that guy would come and play for me in New York, I'd have to, clear it with him. He'd probably want some added years onto his existing contract, some more guaranteed money. But if I could get Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson to be the quarterback of the Jets, that's worth giving up Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner, whoever you got those first round picks for. It's worth all of it to give up to get the quarterback.
The Lamar Jackson one is very interesting for me because when we're talking about franchises kind of, stuck, and for the Steelers, it seemed like, oh man, maybe this is the fire Tomlin year. I think that Week 18 game is kind of massively important for them. Hey, look, Ryan, we said you don't want to watch Bills Jets. The season can't end fast enough. Just don't. Just watch the Sunday night game between the Steelers and Ravens, because A, it's a playoff game, and B, maybe I think if the Ravens lose that game, there is a world, I think, where maybe the Ravens start a rebuild. Because they're kind of stuck in the mud a little bit. Is that crazy, though? I mean, we got a Heisman winner. We got a former MVP. I mean, this is Lamar Jackson we're talking about.
I think if the Ravens lose the game, there's a world where they have a John Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson divorce. I don't know who gets to stay in the house, if it's Lamar or John, but it would not surprise me if one of them was on the open market come the middle of next week or whatever. So, probably the coach, and they probably keep the quarterback, but and that would probably entice the Giants more if it's John Harbaugh. If it's Lamar, it would entice the Jets more. But that would not surprise me. And I guess the same thing goes for the Bengals. It would not surprise me if Joe Burrow asked out. The Bengals don't want him out, but it wouldn't surprise me if he asked out at some point this offseason, and it wouldn't surprise me if Zach Taylor was on the market.
So, Bills, they can't win the division by virtue of what happened over the weekend. They're playing against a depleted Jets team that may or may not even want to play. I want to scrape. I want to scrape your brain. Give me one thing that we could try to find in that game for Jets fans.
Oh, I don't know, Perry. I don't know, man. If I'm scraping look, I guess you can find the young players or whatever who can, finish on a high note, who can carry it through. the Malachi Moores or somebody like that who, Membu or Fashanu or somebody like that who can finish strong. But I mean, that is really scraping the bottom of the barrel. I don't have much for you as far as what the Jets can do in week 18 to just not get embarrassed is where the bar is, Perry. It's literally on the ground. Like it is. Don't trip over it. Like I trip over my kids' Matchbox cars. That is how low the bar is. Just don't lose 30-0.
Well, you know what? Then that is what's going to be my New Year's resolution for the Jets to leave that in the past, to leave the pessimism, to leave the Jets curse, to leave the same old Jets moniker, to take optimism into the new year and see, because there are drafts and every team drafts and you draft. And this is what I love about the draft is every team thinks they get better because they happen to. Every team gets some pieces. Some teams just get way better than others, and some teams were better than others to start. But the Jets have a lot of possibilities, and so that's a lot of dice you're rolling, Ryan. There's a lot of chances to hit good. So let's write our little note. Same old Jets on the piece of paper, light it in the fire, drop it in the champagne on New Year's, and cheers it to a new Jets in 2026. Are you with me?
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Glenn has been trying to get rid of same old Jets. Robert Saleh tried to get rid of same old Jets. The way to get rid of same old Jets, fellas, it's not to burn it on New Year's Eve. Win some games.
Well, they hopefully next year, but I'm definitely not putting any money down on them against the Bills. Ryan, thank you so much for joining me this week on the Gang Green Blitz. It's a wonderful Happy New Year. Happy New Year's to you and your family, and Happy New Year's to all of you viewers at home. Guys, just close out the season, enter the new year with optimism, enter the new year with hope and happiness, and see you next year on the Gang Green Blitz.